McLaren had asked Hamilton to let Alonso through in the final part of qualifying. However, he failed to let Fernando past, despite requests from the team and the obvious anger of his teammate.
We saw this with Ayrton, you know, the important thing was to be faster than your teammate. But there's a psychological factor as well as the tactics can also mean the psychological tactics. And I think Hamilton just wants to put down the marker. He wants to be in front of his teammate. Pole position here is putting you in a dominant position, very difficult circuit to overtake. And I don't know what the rules are about their tactics and fuel loads and stuff, whether or not he gets an advantage by being ahead of his teammate, I don't know.
Well, at the moment, Alonso having to wait again for the optimum moment to go out onto the racetrack. But he's definitely putting the harder tyres on. There's Lewis Hamilton queuing up behind him. And have they raised the lollipop to let Alonso out? Yep, they want him out of there. No, Alonso's not getting on with it. Only 1:40 to go. Is he blocking Hamilton here? Is that a bit of a tactic within the team there to give Hamilton a bit of a headache? I think it might well be. That's really up to you now, chum.
Yeah, James, that was a little bit naughty, I think. But we'll see. He's got time to get round.
He was furious and went straight to speak with Alonso's physiotherapist, Fabrizio Borra.
We always stop, we wait for the countdown in the radio and we go. Sometimes it's 10 seconds, sometimes 45 seconds like the first stop of today, sometimes 10 or 15 like the second, but I think the calculation was wrong because my teammate didn't complete the lap and I crossed the line with 2 or 3 seconds, so it was really tight and you know, these things unfortunately happened today to us.
The session had finished, but the matter was far from resolved. The team was required to speak to the FIA stewards on Saturday night.
Take this one here. I'm going to take you to the down there. It's just hundreds of people.
Okay, it's that way.
We'll go this way. Anyway.
I walk. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. It's better to go.
I go through the garage.
After much deliberation, Alonso was stripped of his pole position and relegated to 6th, and the team would score no constructors' points for this race.
Renault have admitted that they fixed last year's Singapore Grand Prix, but did they get away with it? Renault team principal Flavio Briatore and engineering boss Pat Simmons paid for it with their jobs, but the team is still in Formula One and Fernando Alonso has kept the victory.
No fine for Renault. The penalty for Renault is disqualification but suspended for 2 years. So what that comes down to is provided they don't do something similar within 2 years, they don't have any problem.
I was genuinely relieved, as indeed every single member of the team was, because we all quite honestly thought this could be the end of our jobs. We've got to go home and start finding another way to pay a mortgage.
We now know what happened. Nelson Piquet crashed on purpose so as to bring out the safety car. This wasn't spying on other teams or lying to the stewards. This was endangering spectators, marshals and his own safety. The only debate is whether the plan to crash deliberately was Piquet's idea or Pat Simmons. Each one blames the other, so someone is still not telling the truth. Nelson Piquet's actions allowed teammate Fernando Alonso to reach the front and win the race.
Myself and a lot of other people in the paddock last year, immediately after the race, suspected that there was something strange going on.
You still count that race as a proper race victory for yourself?
Yes, I do.
Even though the team effectively manufactured it?
Well, I think that's interpretation. There are many interpretations how you can win the race. You know, that was in very early stage of the race, and it was a long race to do, and you know, the car was performing well. I did no mistakes, and I still counting.
The team may have got off lightly in the FIA court, but Renault have been hit in the pocket by the immediate withdrawal of title sponsor ING. The financial services company didn't want to be associated with a team that cheats. In an ironic twist, Piquet's replacement Romain Grosjean spun in precisely the same place in the same way here in practice yesterday. At least new Renault boss Bob Bell could see the funny side.
Your team's been embroiled in a race-fixing scandal. Your major title sponsor has walked out on you in the middle of the season. How's your first week as team boss going?
It can't get worse, can it? I can only look good in a situation like this, whatever I do, so we'll deal with it. We've dealt with a lot of ups and downs in the past. We are fundamentally strong, committed. Parent Renault are right behind us, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to demonstrate again to everybody that we can pull back and be at the top as we used to be.
By being granted immunity by the FIA in return for his evidence, Nelson Piquet is free to race again in Formula One if he can find a team that wants to employ him. Pat Simmons admitted that he'd fixed the race with Piquet and has been banned from FIA Motorsport for 5 years. But after an anonymous whistleblower within the Renault team confirmed that Flavio Briatore knew about the plan, the FIA banned the Italian for life. Flavio's vowed to clear his name, but his downfall has been dramatic. The flamboyant, charismatic showman whose world has collapsed.
It's sad to see a career end like that, but what else could we do?
Everyone watching is concerned. They want to know if this is endemic in Formula One. Is everyone cheating?
No, not at all. No, it's just, there's always, everywhere you'll always find, it has been in the past, will be in the future, individuals that do rubbish, and you can't change that.
I'm sure the real racing fans, they love to see racing, they love to see battles, they love to see... That's all, from my experience from growing up, that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to see all the other stuff. I wanted to see people racing wheel to wheel, touching if they had to.
Wheel to wheel stuff, look at this.
At the end, the best drivers getting at the front and the best teams winning. And I'm sure the real racing fans out there really want to see that.
What does it mean for the future of Formula One?
I don't think it means anything. I think we now go on, we have problems from time to time. As long as we solve them and deal with them properly, that's fine.
The FIA believe they've drawn a line under the whole affair. Whoever else has bent the rules in Formula One, Renault's will live on as one of the worst cases of cheating in sporting history. It remains to be seen if Formula One has learnt its lesson, or are the demands for success too great? Someone will always be inclined to take the easy route to victory. First time since Bahrain, Ferrari had a car equal to the Red Bull. Felipe Massa was leading, Fernando Alonso was second, Sebastian Vettel third. But Massa was lapping slower than a frustrated Alonso, and Vettel was closing in on him at nearly a second per lap. The quandary facing the Ferrari pit wall was this: allow Vettel to catch up and become a threat, or place Alonso ahead of Massa to be sure of the win. There was a decision to be made and a driver to inform.
Okay, so Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?
Massa moved over 2 laps later.
I'm used to team orders in Formula One. It's obvious to me that a team who's spending £400 million a year running 2 Formula One cars, employing 2 drivers, will use them to the best effect of the team. Ferrari did it too early and in a crass way, and it upset the fans.
But team orders are illegal in F1 and have been ever since the same team, Ferrari, made Rubens Barrichello move over for Michael Schumacher in Austria in 2002. To be seen as being within the rules, Ferrari now had to try and convince everyone that Massa had acted voluntarily.
We didn't have team orders in the race.
Thank you very much. Team order is not a problem.
There are no team orders.
Felipe was a little bit slower, and Vettel was catching up with the tires.
Show us the evidence. There were clear team orders.
So Fernando was faster than you?
Yeah, I think everybody saw, no?
That was probably the clearest team order I've ever seen.
It was good to finish this race in this condition, honestly.
But a driver's decision isn't normally followed by an apology.
Good lad, just stick with him now. Sorry.
I think it was too raw. I think to see something like that orchestrated in the most public way was distasteful, left a bad feeling amongst a lot of, not just the teams, the media and the general public.
The sports governing body, the FIA, found Ferrari guilty of breaking the ban on team orders, but limited their penalty to a fine. In their defence, Ferrari explained that they had to manage the order because they couldn't trust their drivers to race without colliding. Fernando had set his stall out as Ferrari's #1 earlier on in the season with this ruthless overtake of Felipe Massa in the pit lane in China. Alonso was Ferrari's focus for the championship.
We always said everywhere that for Ferrari the team is the most important thing. And the drivers that are working in the team knows very well.
Great result. And very, very, very magnanimous. You won't have any idea what that word means, so I'll explain it to you later.
But the bottom line is Ferrari has to win. And in Germany, Ferrari had to win in that way.
Time would tell whether the extra 7 points for the win would be enough to hand Alonso the championship. But what did happen in Germany crushed Felipe Massa's spirit. He wouldn't be as fast again all season.
Fernando is faster than you. Can you confirm you understood that message?
It was a message he understood only too well.